3 months later I stood in court. That paper in my pocket decided everything. But back then on the porch it just looked like trash. The knock came at 7:14 p.m. 3 times. Hard. I opened the door. My house wasn't my house anymore. Boxes sat stacked on the porch. My clothes. My books. Even my old coffee mug with the cracked handle. A plastic bin of laundry leaked the smell of Tide. My makeup bag was upside down, powder spilled like gray dust. 96 hours until my parents flew to Phoenix. 72 hours until the moving truck. They had counted. I hadn't. My name is Rachel Morgan. I'm 46. I work as a bookkeeper at a small medical clinic in Columbus. My father Thomas Morgan is 78. My mother Linda Morgan is 75. My brother Eric is 42. That night family lines split. Eric stood by the porch rail. Polo shirt, cologne too strong. He smirked like it was his event. One box slipped from the pile. A folder fell out, papers scattering across the step. He stepped back and his shoe landed on the corner of a form. He didn't notice. I did. Engines fade. Paper holds. Inside the walls were bare. Photos gone. Calendar hooks empty. Even the lamp in the hallway was missing. Only the smell of bleach stayed. My bedroom door was open. Mattress dragged halfway out. Where's my room? I asked. Eric's voice was flat. Sold. Mom and Dad needed options. Phoenix is better. My throat tightened. You sold the house? He shrugged. They did. You're fine. You've got work. You'll land somewhere. He waved at the boxes. Take what's yours. 72 hours. My parents plan to leave me standing here. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Angela Torres. My oldest friend. I picked up but couldn't speak. She heard my breath. Rachel, she asked. What's happening? I hung up before words could break. Back in the living room, Eric folded a paper and slid it into his folder. He tapped it once casual. Dad signed. It's done. I looked at his folder. At the paper corner bent under his shoe. And my boxes stacked like trash on the porch. I didn't take all the boxes. I only needed one. The one with Eric's paper. And that paper would outlast his smile. By morning the porch looked smaller. Boxes still there. Due on the cardboard. A receipt stuck to the top box, edges curled. Engines fade. Paper holds. Boxes collapse. Folders survive. T72 hours until the truck. T48 hours until the flight. They had a schedule. I was the only one not on it. Inside the house smelled wrong. Not breakfast. Not coffee. Bleach. Plastic. The last time I sat here, Dad grilled burgers on the porch. Now bleach covered that memory. My father Thomas sat at the kitchen table. Calendar gone from the wall. Only 2 pushpins left. He straightened the chair arm twice, avoiding my eyes. My mother Linda stood by the counter. She held a folder tight. Her gaze fixed on the sink, never me. Why? I asked. Silence. Eric walked in, sunglasses on, though the blinds were closed. He lifted one box from the stack and the bottom gave way. A cracked photo frame slid across the floor. My 8th grade graduation. Glass chipped. He stepped on it, didn't look down. You don't need this junk, he said. My chest tightened. It's not junk. He smirked. If it mattered, they would have kept it. T60 hours. My parents silent. My brother louder. My phone buzzed. Angela again. Picked up. This time I spoke one line. They sold everything. She breathed in but said nothing. Then, I'll come. I whispered. Don't. Not yet. Then I cut the line. Eric bent over the folder. He pulled a page halfway out. His fingers smudged the margin with cologne oil. He didn't notice. I did. Cuts aren't random. Cuts are chosen. I lifted one box myself. Heavy. Inside, a plastic tub with my files. Bank slips. Old tax forms. Rent contracts. Paper doesn't lie. Eric stepped closer, tried to take it. Leave it, I said. He grinned. You won't need half this once Phoenix is settled. I held the box tighter. Phoenix isn't mine. He leaned down close. Neither is this house. His breath smelled of coffee and mint. Rehearsed. Practiced. I set the box down slow. Picked one envelope from the top. Folded it into my pocket. He didn't see. 48 hours. The moving truck was booked. That night I sat on the porch alone. Street quiet. A Ford idled 2 houses down. Lights off. My parents didn't ask where I was. They never asked. The porch light flickered once. Then died. Inside, Eric's voice carried low. My mother's too. One word cut through the wall. Deed. My stomach twisted. Was there anything left in my name? I touched the envelope in my pocket. Paper held. Engines faded. Then a sound from the driveway. Cardboard tearing. One of my boxes tipped. Shoes on gravel. Not mine. The lid ripped. Paper fluttered into the dark. 3 months later, I sat in a lawyer's office. The folder on the table carried more weight than my parents' silence. But back then on that porch it was only paper pulled from a torn box. T36 hours until the truck. T60 hours until their flight. Time shrank. Inside the house, my father Thomas scrubbed a faint square on the kitchen wall where family photos used to hang. He pressed harder as if erasing me. My mother Linda folded towels into a plastic bin. The smell of detergent stung. She placed the bin by the door without looking at me. Boxes stacked higher. Labeled in Eric's handwriting. Living room. Garage. Rachel's stuff. He wrote my name smaller. Don't touch those, Eric said when I opened one. I just want to see. You'll make a mess. I lifted the lid anyway. Inside. Clothes folded wrong, not mine. A broken mug with the handle taped. My makeup bag half open. Lipstick smashed against the lining. My chest burned. These weren't accidents. This was dismissal. Eric leaned in the doorway. Less to carry. 30 hours. My box is already collapsing. My phone buzzed. Angela again. One line. Do you want me to call the police? I typed back. Not yet. Police can't fix betrayal. Paper might. I checked the folder in my pocket. One envelope. Bank slip. My name typed clear. Rachel Harris. It wasn't much, but it was still proof. At dinner, the table looked empty. No plates, no food. Just contracts. Eric spread them like playing cards. Closing dates confirmed, he said. He tapped the paper with his nail. Title transfers at noon. My father shifted in his chair. My mother straightened the stack. Her hand brushed a salt shaker empty, left behind like the rest of me. A faint sauce stain spread across the cloth. The last family meal erased. Where do I go? I asked. No one answered. T24 hours. Later I heard Eric's voice outside. He was on the phone. Title's clean. She won't contest. She's got nothing. His laugh carried through the window. My fists clenched. I did have something. One envelope. One slip of paper. Boxes collapse. Folders survive. At midnight, headlights cut across the wall. A car stopped at the curb. Not Angela. Not the neighbors. Too late for visitors. The engine clicked off. No door opened. I pulled the curtain. A dark shape sat behind the wheel. The glow of a lighter flared once, then vanished. A cigarette tip burned faint red. Watching. Then the mailbox clanged shut. Footsteps faded fast. I rushed outside. Inside the box sat another envelope. My name scrawled across. Rachel. I tore it open. One photocopy. Property deed. My name blacked out with a marker. Eric scratched in. Ink still wet. Crooked letters sliding off the line. My breath caught. Cuts aren't random. Cuts are chosen. From the street, the car engine started again. Slow. Rolling. Then gone. I stood under the porch light, the copy shaking in my hand. Paper held. But whose paper would the court believe? And how many more cuts would come before noon? The bank smelled of ink and polish. 48 hours. The brass key pressed my pocket. Eric walked ahead like he owned the hallway. I kept one step behind Anna. The teller checked IDs. Her sleeve had a button missing, thread loose. Even here things came undone. We sat in the small room. The clerk slid a metal box onto the table. Anna spoke for the record. Dates. Times. Names. David took photos. Paper stacked neat. Copies smudge. Original stain. Inside the box, folders, a notebook, slips. A velvet pouch. Eric leaned forward too fast. Anna blocked him with one hand. Chain first. His jaw clicked. I saw it. He hated the weight. The pouch held a USB. Black. Wrapped in blue painter's tape, same as the one from the desk. Eric froze for half a breath. Then he smirked. Dad trusted me. Not her. He meant me. The camera caught every word. The clerk logged the items. Anna sealed them. Eric stood straightening his tie. Executor changes. Tomorrow. His eyes flicked to me once. Cold. Then he walked out. The door thudded like a gavel. On the way home, headlights tracked too close. A car sat 3 lengths back. Silver paint. Dark tint. The lighter clicked twice. Too slow. Too deliberate. Not habit. A signal. I gripped the bag tighter. The bank copy inside. The original still stained with my father's hand. Engines fade. Paper holds. At the house, silence waited. My father breathed shallow, almost gone. My mother sat at the table, car keys in her fist. My father adjusted the calendar with shaking hands. Pages already torn away. Neither looked at me. Presence wasn't love. It was absence in plain sight. I set the bag by the lamp. The brass key beside it. The steel key still in the dish. 3 metals. 3 cuts. The house hummed. Then the doorbell. Soft. Once. The porch light clicked off. Through the dark glass, a shadow leaned closer. The lighter clicked twice across the street. No flame. Just sound. A message without fire. I closed the curtain halfway. The steel key stayed in the dish. The brass one pressed in my pocket. Paper copies lay under the lamp base, edges curling from the heat. My father Robert's breath was shallow. I wiped his lips with a damp cloth. His hand twitched once, then fell still. The machines hummed like nothing had changed. At noon I heard gravel crunch. I checked the peephole. Not Eric's Mercedes. A sedan with tinted glass. Engine off. The driver didn't move. I backed away. Called Anna. He's watching, I said. Then let him, she answered. Fear leaves prints. You don't engage. Tomorrow at 9 we go to the bank. Silence held the house. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. A voicemail dropped. Played it on speaker. A man's voice flat. Confirming delivery of documents for Eric Harris. Signature required by end of day. I deleted it. Paper holds. Voices fade. My mother Sarah came at 2. She didn't knock. She used her old key. She carried a stack of folded towels still warm. She placed them on the chair and kept folding. She folded the same towel twice, then a third time. Anything just not to look at me. I said nothing. She left without words. Threats fade. Paper doesn't. At 4, headlights swept the living room wall, then stopped. The car idled. The lighter clicked again. Too slow. Too deliberate. A pause between each strike. I stayed by the lamp. I wanted them to know I saw. Eric's text came after. Don't be late tomorrow. Keys work in pairs. I didn't answer. I took a photo of the dish, the steel key visible against the ceramic. Proof. At 6, Linda from hospice stopped by. She checked the morphine log, the oxygen line, the clipboard on the wall. All secure, she said. Her eyes flicked to the window. Someone outside? Watching, I said. She nodded once. Then don't open the door. Not for anyone but me. After she left, I locked the front and back twice. I placed the photocopy of the bank agreement under the lamp again. I pressed the base down until the glass rattled. Copies smudge. Original stain. I sat by my father Robert. His chest lifted in slow counts, each gap longer than the last. I whispered. Tomorrow we open it. Date a knock. 3 times. Soft. Too soft. Not neighbors. Not hospice. I held my breath. The porch light flickered, then died. Through the dark glass, a shadow leaned closer. The courthouse smelled like polish and dust. Paper stacked higher than heads. My mother Linda sat in the first row. She folded the same tissue twice, then a third time. She didn't look at me. She looked at the floor. My father Thomas wasn't there. He sent no word. Eric walked in late. Suit sharp, grin sharper. He dropped his phone on the table like it belonged. The clerk checked the clock. 15 minutes until session. Engines faded outside. Paper stayed inside. The judge entered. Wrote black, voice flat. Temporary hearing. Estate in question. He glanced at the folder in front of him. My name typed once. Crossed out once. Eric's name written in fresh ink. Letters crooked. Ink still wet. Objection, Anna said. Her voice steady. Altered after the fact. Original records differ. Eric leaned forward. My father wanted clean lines. No confusion. He asked me directly. The judge tapped his pen. Proof. Eric smiled. Too slow. Witnesses. Notary. He looked around. Empty seats. The notary wasn't there. Silence heavier than words. I pushed one paper forward. Receipt. Hardware store. Screws. Handwriting small, exact. My father's hand. Date last month. Anna slid the copy next to it. Originals here. Copies stain. The judge read. Lips pressed thin. He set the receipt aside. Chain of documents will be examined. Eric's foot tapped under the table. Fast. He leaned close to me, voice low. You're making this ugly. I didn't answer. He pushed a folded sheet across. Sign. Step aside. Anna blocked it with her hand. Do not engage, she whispered. The judge looked up. Any threats made here will be noted. Eric leaned back, grin gone. His eyes cut sharp. She's unstable. Lives alone. Hospice will confirm. My chest burned. Anna spoke fast. Hospice logs confirm dosage errors. Morphine bottle, chain of custody. She dropped the photo bag on the table. Eric's hand froze for half a breath. The clerk wrote the time down. My mother Linda shifted in her seat. She adjusted her purse strap twice. She never looked at me. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. The judge closed the folder. Full review set for next week. Until then, assets are frozen. Neither party has claim. His gavel hit once. Hard. Eric stood fast. Chair scraped. He leaned toward me. This isn't over. I said nothing. He walked out first. Doors swung. Shoes echoed. Then silence. Anna touched my arm. He's rattled. That helps. We packed slow. Each paper sealed. Originals marked. Copies bagged. Outside, the sun hit sharp. Eric's Mercedes idled by the curb. Window down. A hand on the wheel. His lighter clicked twice. No flame. Just sound. A message without fire. My phone buzzed. One text. No name. Just 4 words. Keys work in pairs. I held my bag tighter. Inside, the envelope bent with weight. 2 drives. 1 agreement. 1 truth. The courthouse doors closed behind me. My mother didn't follow. Engines faded. Paper held. Then footsteps. Too close. Too slow. I turned. A shadow leaned against the column, waiting. The house was empty when I returned. No machines. No breath. My father Thomas was gone. Hospice had taken the bed. Only the lamp hummed, same as always. On the desk lay 2 keys. Brass on my ring. Steel in the dish. Cuts weren't random. Cuts were chosen. Anna called at noon. Drives are ready. Secure room. Be here by 2. Her voice steady. My hand shook once, then stopped. The law office conference room smelled of coffee and ink. David set the laptop down. Anna sealed the door. 2 bags on the table. Drive from the desk. Drive from the vault. She plugged the first in. Files. Receipts. Scans. Photos. Eric's hand on my father's wrist. My father's note. If this is questioned, Karen is witness. Not Eric. Eric sat across, silent for once. His jaw tight. The second drive went in. Audio crackled. My father's voice, thin but steady. This is Thomas Harris. I am of sound mind. My daughter Rachel will carry this. My son Eric has pressured me. This is my statement. Silence after. Heavy. Anna spoke for the record. Both drives confirm coercion. Originals stored. She closed the laptop. Chain is sealed. Eric stood too fast. His chair tipped. Forgery, he snapped. No one answered. The witness clerk wrote the time down. He slammed the door behind him. Engines faded outside. Paper held inside. Weeks later, the funeral. My mother Linda sat in black, her eyes on the hymnal, not on me. She folded the same tissue again and again. She never spoke. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. The will was read after. Equal split. House. Savings. Box. But the statement held weight. Eric had no claim. He didn't show. Not at the reading. Not at the house. His Mercedes never came back. I packed slow. Boxes collapsed under tape. But folders survived. Copies fade. Originals stain. On the last night, I turned the lamp off. The dish still held the steel key. I picked it up, felt the cut, then dropped it into the trash. It clinked against glass and was gone. The brass key stayed on my ring. Warm. Heavy. Mine. Engines fade. Paper holds. If you've listened this far, tell me, did the story resonate with you? Write your thoughts in the comments. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more stories about real people who don't scream. They act coldly to the end.